Hi, we're just going to do a brief video on how to get started with the OpenBve on a Raspberry Pi. I'm using the simple screen recorder to record what we're up to. I've used bigger fonts to make life slightly easier. So the first thing you want to do is to go to the OpenBve page, and I'll try and put these links in. In fact, you find it here, OpenBve project. So let's go back to the Open page. And so on the home page, openBveproject.net, you go here and you say to, okay, I want to download the source code, and it tells you where you get the source code from. Oh, this is for a Raspberry Pi. If you have a Windows box, a Mac, or a Linux, don't bother with this. It's already been built for you, yeah, and just follow the install links. But this is for if you want to build it yourself. So, and on a Pi 3 at the moment, you need to do that. So we go to this link here, and it's a standard Git repository, and you would do the thing where you copy the link, and then you would create a new directory. In fact, I need to be one more location here. I already have it installed. So let's go into, actually, this rm-rf open bve latest mukdir pling dollar. So that makes the last directory. And then I can git clone recall git. So now oops, cd open bve latest. So what we're doing is we're making a copy, and then I'll git clone here. The reason is because I already have a build that worked, and this is actually, I haven't tried the more up-to-date version. I built it 6 months ago, and I haven't been playing with it since then. So it comes down quite quickly. I'm on a link. I mean, what is that? 13 megabytes per second or whatever. Megabits per second. I don't know. It's okay. So just pull it down, and you know your link may be faster or slower. And what you need to build it, it gives you some instructions here. But basically, what is it? How to build. So you need monodevelop, okay? And monodevelop is a way of running C# compilation on Linux. And this is all assuming you have Visual Studio. So these links, whilst useful, are specifically for standard platforms like Microsoft. And when you come to Linux and specifically Windows, specifically Pi, it's different. And I don't see the instructions here, but you're going to need to do something like this. But what you'll have to do, let's see if it has anything about Pi. It doesn't. Okay. So what you'll need to do is to look on one of these pages, and again, I'll put the links in, and eventually it will take you to something like this. Let's see if we can find it. That's not the Vulkan. No, hang on. There we are. To take you to this page, monodevelop, okay, so I'll put that in the chat window of the video, and you see if you go to Linux, you can look for Raspberry, and it tells you about how to install it, and the Pi4 is a Raspberry 9, I believe, so you basically run these commands here, and that should allow you to install the monodevelop. So then you run this thing here to install it and check. Now, so this is pulled down. So if we now look at the, is it mono minus version? Yeah. So I've got version 6.12, and the latest version, it seems to say here, is 7.6. So this is an older version, but it's fine. And then there's a few other things you need to do to get some sort of msbuild. So maybe we could see if there's a way of getting, I mean, just Google is your friend, msbuild Raspberry Pi, msbuild 15. Let's have a look. Hang on, my mouse is frozen up. Why do I say that? Because if I do msbuild minus version, it says I've got 16.6 actually. Look, so I've actually got that one. So whether this came with the mono, I'm not absolutely certain, but let's have a look here. This guy tells you how to do it for mono 15. So what does he do? VS build, is this the right connection? I'm not really certain. I don't know. We'll check later. But basically, you need to install an MS build as well, and we can cover that in a later video if necessary. So we've got the software down. We've made some installations. We go to the  and we look at the README. Is there a README here? Yeah, it's readme like that, look. Then it tells you Dart, package files, source codes, third-party binaries, OpenBve. Okay, all the normal stuff. Basically, what I think you do, let's find out together, is you do a make clean, even. I can't type today. A long day out walking. And you see it's finding mono version 6, and there's a 7 there. Nuget, this is important to get the nuget stuff. And again, you could look online how to do that. But once it's cleaned, now we see in the background the H-top. So we're using what? A gig. So if you have a 2 or 4 gig Pi at this point, it's exactly the same as my 8 gig Pi. There's no benefit so far. So then what we would do, we make minus J4. I've got 4 processors on there. I think there's 6 cores on this thing. I'm not certain. And then we would do bin release. And before I do that, I'm just going to Control C that, if I can. Control C it. You can see that there's no bin there. So when we come to make this bin release, it will start to make the directory. Now this thing will start to light up. So we're going to start. No NuGet. This may take a while. No to make target bin release. Let's just try and make minus J4 then. It looks like this has probably changed since okay. It's using 15. Okay, well I had 15. Okay, that's changed. When I built this earlier, this is the latest nightly pull. So this has come down since last night. When I built it earlier, I had to make bin release. And this is pulling a load of stuff down. So this is the first time I've built this more modern version. If this doesn't work, we'll try the older version and I'll find a way of putting that on the net. Let's just make that slightly wider. I kind of like it when the text is all on one line. So this OpenTK is one of the sort of graphics systems that the program uses. Okay, that says it did something. So let's have a look what's there. Find dot minus name OpenBve.exe minus print. There is no such thing. Okay. Where did it put the output? Find dot minus name star.exe. Is there anything there? Okay, that looks great, but that's not it. Make. Let's wait a second. Boom, 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 boom. Restore open solution. Build using msbuild. So that's the solution is the Microsoft type of concept. And now it's using this build tool to try and build the solution. All packages listed are already installed. Okay. Is there a make file? Vim. Oh, wait a minute. What's under Debian? Okay. That looks. No, that's not it. Vim make file. Boom, boom, boom. So it says it wants minimum version 5.1. We've got that. Minimum NuGet that. That's great. Bin debug, bin release. There we are. That's what I said. Bin release. So what are the targets? Let's go to the end. Boom, 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 boom. Debian all release. So wait a minute, there's an all dash release. Okay, let's try that then. Come on, you can do it. Make minus J4 all release. Dum 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 bum 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 bum. So still only it's just using over a gig there of memory, which is too much for a Pi. You can build this on a Pi 3, by the way. If you build it on a Pi 3, you really need to download, in my opinion, this driver here and build it. And this gives hardware acceleration to the graphics and makes it run reasonably. Without it, it's pretty. And you need to make sure you got this Raspberry Pi VK driver installed. And on one of the videos I show a picture of the thing running with that, and it makes it run about 4 or 5 frames per second, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a tiny computer doing quite well. Okay, copying file from there to there, PDBs, where are you putting it? Use source path. Boom, boom. This is the first time I've built it on this latest version, yeah, so this is why I'm being a bumbling fool, because I have no idea what it's doing. I can show you the old version in a moment, and we'll do that. In fact, I can be crafty and do it now. Let's open another terminal, put that to one side, cd /software, cd OpenBve. So this is one I pulled down, I think it was June time, July time, no, July the 11th or whatever, okay. How much we're using, 1.2 gig and 100% CPU, so it's, it's not bad. So I'll build this in a second whilst we look for this. So that's building some sort of train stuff. Okay, that's building objects. Fine. Where's it putting the output? Ah, look, it said release there. I saw it saying release now. I didn't say that before. If you recall, it just said okay and nothing was done. So let's just give this a little moment to continue building. So the recap, pull down the code, get yourself the mono latest version, and we got the web page. I know it's 5. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, yeah, that's done it. Look, bin release. So that didn't work for me a moment ago, but what we had to do is we had to run J4 means run 4 processes at once. We said make all release, and that now builds the bin release. So I don't know. I'm sure I used to say make bin release, but doesn't matter. That's how we do it here. So now, once you've built it, if we go into bin release, we can find that there's all this stuff, specifically some exes. So exe, and these won't run as they stand. You need to use mono for that. Now, by default, it puts all of your train routes or whatever which you need to download in your home directory. So tilde is that. If you're familiar with Linux or Unix, cd pushd is your friend, push directory. This is a stack. So at the moment we have nothing in the stack, and if you look, it now says we've got bin release and tilde because we've moved to tilde. And if we cd to dot, where is it gone? Monosonic Pi config, is that right? Yeah. No. Oh yeah, OpenBve. Look, sorry, I'm getting old. And this is where you put stuff. So what you need to do then is, so let's just go through the process quickly. Let's just find, for example, OpenBve ongar and see what comes up. And there's some videos. Oh, there's me, vaguely Pi born of Pi. And so here's somewhere you can go into it, and these guys have created some stuff, and you would move down and find, there's the vehicle for it, Kevin Louis. So you pull the vehicle down there, and you'd pull that down there, okay? So this asks you to click this. So let's go there and see what happens, because sometimes you get like virus warnings. So this is some sort of archive page, and somewhere you can find, let's have a look, Epping. There we are. Click here, and then it would download, I hope, in a minute. So it's gone to someone's drive, and now it's downloading a zip file, yeah. And this will go to your downloads inside. Well, okay, when you click on it, let's go up one. Sorry. So let's just download it with that thing, and that should pull that down to my home directory. So this be a bit wasteful. Let's open yet another prompt. I love opening prompts. cd /download. So you type dow and then the tab would do that, yeah. And with luck, ls-star.zip, what's come down? onga.zip, yeah, let's just check that. ls-l o star.zip. Yeah, look, it's the Ongo 1. So that's the more version. So it looks like July time. I got very bored and I played with this. And if you look, I found various things off the internet. The CL43, which is the old 125 train, for those of you old enough to remember it, and various routes, and then various sort of London transport routes that you can find on these sorts of pages. Okay, so let's just put that to one side. So underneath your config OpenBVE, it's very crucial that you put things in the right directory structure. So what it wants you to do is to have a legacy content train, and all of the trains get unpacked here. So let's have a quick look at the free directory. So you go into legacy content and you have to copy the. So what I do is I put the zips at the top level, and then actually I use the temp directory. I unpack them all, um, and I think it's this T1. And then I so let's look at T1. I tend to unpack stuff into there. It's not so rm dir T1. I tend to move a zip to T1, unzip it, and then have a look at what's in it and move it to the respective place. So in the railway, what we have is a series of object root sounds. You don't need the temp. And in the train is where you put your trains that you found. So these are the 125 trains. This is the Silverlink Metro. This is some underground trains. And once you've done all that, now we can pop directory. Remember we pushed D, now we can pop directory and it puts it back to where we were. So now we can run the program. And this is the first time I've run this brand new build, yeah. So, there's, Lisa in the community make no promises this will work on Pi. I'm just mad enough to do it. So OpenBve.exe, and if you run that, it should come up and say hello. So let's see what it does. So like I said, I'll put some of the routes. So here we go. So now it says, oh, okay, you've got your configuration. So you see it's homepi.config OpenBve legacy content railway. And underneath the railway, it expects to find routes and things. And underneath the train expects to find trains. So let's go to Ongar and we single click on it, up it comes. You can't find the default train. I do not know if a 1992 TS is the correct train to use here. I'm going to use it all the same, yeah. Not all trains work. Central line train, deep level. Well, this Ongar was a central level. Now, then you have the ability to change the options. So did I change anything? I allow it to have full screen mode if I wanted to. I put a slightly smaller window. I don't think that's that important. And there, the full screen is that. You can change these, but I have it currently on. Actually, this is the default. So I have it, it's on anisotropic filtering and whatever. And the blurring distance, you might want to cut that down because the bigger the bigger the viewing distance, the more processing power it uses. And then the next page has got this on it. So that's where you could, if you wanted to, change where you unpack the railway, the train, and the other. But it's very, very important that whatever you choose has got a legacy content railway, legacy content train, legacy content other. It seems to be necessary. I know it looks like you can change it. So let's just try and run it then. Okay. Um, so can we close that? Oh, that was a bad thing to do. I killed it. Okay, let's run it one more time. So again, what we've done is we've taken the Git, we've unpacked it, we've got the mono compiler and msbuild, we've built it, and now we have an executable. We've used mono OpenBve.exe to run it. We've previously put content we downloaded from the internet, and you have to use your judgment what you find and where you use it. And we stuck it under our tilde.config/openbve legacy content railway route and legacy content train. And so we're going to choose Ongar. And then 1992, we looked at the options earlier, so now we start the game. And it takes a little while to get going at first. Did I type it? Let's see. Yeah, I must have hit something because it's using 1.3 gig of memory at the moment. What's it using it on? PS minus EF pipes to grep open BVE. Okay. Mono. grep mono even. It says it's running. Okay, that doesn't look very exciting to me, so maybe I did something wrong. Let's try it again. We've chosen that. We've chosen that. Oh, start. Idiot. Idiot. My bad. Start. Not start new game. I get there in the end. So when I first did this, the Pi wasn't overclocked. It was running its default, I don't know, one and a bit, 1.5 gigahertz. They overclocked it to 2.1, and it's currently in one of these Argon cases with the fan, and they're really good. They keep the temperature down. Then I installed this experimental Vulkan driver, and that made quite a difference to the speed of the graphics on the thing. I mean, this is not a Pentium, or sorry, this is not an i9. It's not a NVIDIA 3080. This is something which an old git like me is just using to play on trains because we were locked down. I couldn't go on the London transport, and I figured, well, I can get the experience of being on a train without having to sort of take all the precautions. So it was pretty cool in that respect. So let's just see what it does. And you have to be patient with this, and I'm not patient. But it should sort of get going. All of these incorrect profiles come up, and then eventually it should start. I'm using Alsa for my sound, and it should be coming through the earphones in a moment, which I hope is being recorded directly into this screen capture. There, now you can hear. I don't know how good this is to hear relative to me. It might be quite loud. I don't know if there's a way of turning the sound down, so I'm going to need to shout. Let me make it bigger, that one there. And the sort of things that you would do, you push F2 to look outside the train, and you see the right-hand doors are open. So you use F6 to shut the doors, F1 to get back inside the train, and then F to put it in forward mode. Oh, sorry, let me push F10, and F10 will give you more information. So we're running at 6 frames per second at the minute. So you see down here, it's got the emergency brake. So currently we're in forward. We've shut the doors. There's a green light here, although I'm quite colorblind. So now you use the Z button to start moving forward. So it's brake 4, press it again, brake 3, push it again, brake 2, push it again, brake 1, push it again, neutral, one more time, and we should start to move. And I'll turn that down a little bit because that's actually quite loud in the earphones. I don't know if that makes any difference. So we're moving. So now we use the Q to slow down. Q, is it? Oh, we'll go back there. Yeah, so the Q puts us back in neutral. So now we're coasting, yeah? Because on the left here it says 5 miles an hour, and this is the speed I'm doing much more than that, yeah? I can't tell if that light is red or green. I think it's green. I always find out when it says you've gone through a red light, yeah? And then I just hammer it. Oh, yeah, that's green. Maybe the green are at the top. I don't know. So now I push the Z, I'm in P1, which I think means parallel 1, and now I go to P2, and I'll just get it up to its max speed just to be insane. So it's on P3, and this bit of the line was not very well electrified. So this is what, 9 frames per second, 9, 10 frames per second. I think I got more with the graphics accelerator, so I think when I've updated the Pi, I don't have the accelerator running at the moment, but it's okay. I mean, this is vaguely playable. Um, Is it using the new renderer? Let's have a look. The old renderer, fine. So you can push F2 to go outside the train, and then you can use the number keypad to 6 moves you to the right, 4 moves you to the left, 8 moves you to the front, up, sorry, 2 moves you down, 9 moves you to the front of the train, 3 moves you back, and basically you would drive along. Let's go back inside the train. Oh, you can push the enter key. Whistle should go. So let's go back into the train. And let's slow it down a bit because we're going a bit insane. So the Q button will slow it down. And now the brake 1 is being applied. And we can push it again and even more harder brake, yeah? And in the real game, what you're supposed to do is to not exceed the speed limit, wait for the passengers to come on. You can even set settings, and you're supposed to stop at train stations and do the right thing. I just like crashing into stuff because, to be fair, I'm just doing this to raise to load the software. And I don't know if you can get the noises coming through, but they're quite realistic. Yeah, if you've ever been on an underground train, this is kind of what it sounds like. So this is basically what we're doing, and yeah, that's the simplest way to get OpenBve running on a Raspberry Pi. Is it brilliant for free? Yeah, yeah, I think it is. This What was this F10 button? F10 did something at one point. Yeah, look that. Oh, so F10. Oh, sorry, F10 goes around the side. F11 did something. But you can read the manuals. That's a much better picture now. So yeah, basically it's off and running. There you go. So that's how you play it. So to recap, you download the source code if you're on a Pi. If you're on a Windows, Linux, Mac, just download the binaries and use it, okay? On the Pi, you download the source code, you install the mono compilers, and then you build it, and then you get some roots, you put them in the correct places, and that's it. You can go off and play, and yeah, have a bit of fun, and yeah, okay.